All right, everyone. This is your boy, Mr. Vetter. We are going to start today with Elizabeth Acevedo's The Poet X. This is the first 92 pages, but alas, the pages are, I don't know if you can see it, you can't see it. Some of them are, it's free verse, so it goes quicker. Some of it's in Spanish, so I might not do very well. But we will be resilient and go from there. So this is called Part 1, In the Beginning Was the World. Was the word. I apologize. In the beginning was the word. Here we go. Friday, August 24th, stoop sitting. The summer is made for stoop sitting, and since it's the last week before school starts, Harlem is opening its eyes to September. I scope out this block I've always called home. Watch the old church ladies, chancletas flapping against the pavement, their mouths letting loose a train of island Spanish as they spread he said, she said. Peep Papote from down the block as he opens the fire hydrant so the little kids have a sprinkler to run through. Listen to honking cabs with bachata blaring from their open windows. Compete with basketballs echoing from the little park. Laugh at the viejos, my father not included, finishing their dominoes tournament with hard slaps and yells of "Kapiku!" Shake my head as even the drug dealers posted up near the building smile more in the summer, their hard scowls softening into glue-eyed stares in the direction of the girls in summer dresses and short shorts. Io, Xiomara, you need to start wearing dresses like that. Shit, you'd be wifed up before going back to school, especially knowing you church girls are all freaks. But I ignore their taunts, enjoy this last bit of freedom, and wait for the long shadows to tell me when mommy is almost home from work, when it's time to sneak upstairs. Unhideable. I am unhideable, taller than even my father, with what mommy has always said was a little too much body for such a young girl. I am the baby fat that settled into D cups and swinging hips so that the boys who called me a whale in middle school now ask me to send them pictures of myself in a thong. The other girls call me conceited, hoe, thought, fast. When your body takes up more room than your voice, you are always the target of well-aimed rumors. Which is why I let my knuckles talk for me. Which is why I learned to shrug when my name was replaced by insults. I have forced my skin just as thick as I am. Mira, muchacha, is my mommy's favorite way to start a sentence, and I know I've always done something wrong when she hits me with, "Look, girl." This time it's Mira, muchacha. Marina from across the street told me you were on the stoop again talking to Los Vendedores. Like usual, I bite my tongue and don't correct her, because I hadn't been talking to the drug dealers. They'd been talking to me. But she says she doesn't want any conversation between me and those boys, or any boys at all. And she better not hear about me hanging out like a wet shirt on a clothesline just waiting to be worn, or she would go ahead and be the one to wring my neck. Oíste? She asks, but walks away before I can answer. Sometimes I want to tell her the only person in this house who isn't heard is me. Names. I'm the only one in the family without a biblical name. Shit, Xiomara isn't even Dominican. I know because I googled it. It means one who is ready for war. And truth be told, that description is about right because I even tried to come into the world in a fighting stance, feet first. Had to be cut out of mommy after she'd been given birth to my twin brother, Xavier, just fine. And my name labors out of some people's mouths in that same awkward and painful way, until I have to slowly say, C-O-Ma-R-A. I've learned not to flinch the first day of school as teachers get stuck stupid trying to figure it out. Mommy says she thought it was a saint's name, gave me this gift of battle, and now curses how well I live up to it. My parents probably wanted a girl who would sit in the pews wearing pretty florals and a soft smile. They got combat boots and a mouth silent until it's sharp as an island machete. The first words, pero, tu no eres fácil, is a phrase I've heard my whole life when I come home with my knuckles scraped up. Pero, tu no eres fácil, when I don't wash the dishes quickly enough or when I forget to scrub the tub. Pero, tu no eres fácil. Sometimes it's a good thing, when I do well on an exam or the rare time I get an award. Pero, tu no eres fácil. When my mother's pregnancy was difficult and it was all because of me, because I was turned around and they thought that I would die, or worse, that I would kill her. So they held a prayer circle at church, and even Father Sean showed up at the emergency room. Father Sean, who held my mother's hand as she labored me into the world, and Poppy paced behind the doctor, who said this was the most difficult birth she'd been a part of. But instead of dying, I came out wailing, waving my tiny fists, and the first thing Poppy said, the first words I ever heard, pero, tu no eres fácil. You sure ain't an easy one. Mommy works, cleaning an office building in Queens. Rides 2 trains in the early morning so she can arrive at the office by 8. She works at sweeping and mopping, emptying trash bins, and being invisible. Her hands never stop moving, she says, her fingers rubbing the material of plastic gloves like the pages of her well-worn Bible. Mommy rides the train in the afternoon, another hour and some change to get to Harlem. She says she spends her time reading verses, getting ready for the evening mass, and I know she ain't lying. But if it were me, I'd prop my head against the middle train wall, hold my purse tight in my lap, close my eyes against the rocking, and try my best to dream. Tuesday, August 28th, confirmation class. Mommy has wanted me to take the Sacrament of Confirmation for 3 years now. The first year in 8th grade, the class got full before we could sign up, and even with all her heavenly pull, Mommy couldn't get a spot for a twin and me. Father Sean told her it'd be fine if we waited. Last year, Caridad, my best friend, extended her trip in DR, right when we were supposed to begin the classes. So I asked if I could wait another year. Mommy didn't like it, but since she's friends with Caridad's mother, Twin went ahead and did the class without me. This year, Mommy has filled out the form, signed me up, and marched me to church before I can tell her that Jesus feels like a friend I've had my whole childhood, who has suddenly become brand new, who invites himself over too often, who texts me too much, a friend I just don't think I need anymore. I know, even writing this is blasphemous. But I don't know how to tell Mommy that this year, it's not about feeling unready, it's about knowing that this doubt has already been confirmed. God. It's not any one thing that makes me wonder about the capital G-O-D, about a holy trinity that don't include the mother. It's all the things. Just seems as I got older, I began to really see the way that church treats a girl like me differently. Sometimes it feels all I'm worth is under my skirt, and not between my ears. Sometimes I feel that turning the other cheek could get someone like my brother killed. Sometimes I feel like my life would be easier if I didn't feel like such a debt to God that don't really seem to be out here checking for me. Mommy, I say to her on the walk home. The words sit in my belly, and I use my nerves like a pulley to lift them out of my mouth. Mommy, what if I don't do confirmation? What if I waited a bit for... But she cuts me off, her index finger a hard exclamation point in front of my face. Mira muchacha, she starts. I will feed and clothe no heathens. She tells me I owe it to God and myself to devote. She tells me this country is too soft and gives kids too many choices. She tells me if I don't confirm here, she will send me to DR, where the priests and nuns know how to elicit true piety. I look at her scarred knuckles. I know exactly how she was taught faith. When you're born to old parents who'd given up hope for children and then are suddenly gifted with twins, you will be hailed a miracle, an answered prayer, a symbol of God's love. The neighbors will make the sign of the cross when they see you. Thankful you are not a tumor in your mother's belly like the whole barrio feared. When you're born to old parents, continue. Your father will never touch rum again. He will stop hanging out at the bodega where the old men go to flirt. He will no longer play music that inspires swishing or thrusting. You will not grow up listening to the slow pull of an accordion or rake of the gira. Your father will become un hombre serio. Merengue might be your people's music, but Papi will reject anything that might sing him towards temptation. Your mother will engrave your name on a bracelet, the words mi hija on the other side. This will be your favorite gift. This will become a despised shackle. Your mother will take to church like a dove thrust into the sky. She was faithful before, but now she will go to Mass every single day. You will be forced to go with her until your knees learn the splinters of pews, the mustiness of incense, the way a priest's robe tries to shush itself, to shush silent all the echoing doubts ringing in your heart. You will learn to hate it. Not one, no one, not even your twin brother, will understand the burden you feel because of your birth. Your mother has sight for nothing but you two and God. Your father seems to be serving a penance, an oath of solitary silence. Their gazes and words are heavy with all the things they want to be. It is ungrateful to feel like a burden. It is ungrateful to resent my own birth. I know that Twin and I are miracles. Aren't we reminded of that every single day? Rumor has it Mommy was a camparona. Stuck up, they said, head high in the air, hair that flipped so hard that shit was doing somersaults. Mommy was born in La Capital, in a barrio of thirst buckets who wrote odes to her legs, but the only man Mommy wanted was nailed to a cross. Since she was a little girl, Mommy wanted to wear a habit, wanted prayer and the closest thing to be an automatic heaven admission she could get. Rumor has it Mommy was forced to marry Papi, nominated by her family so she could travel to the States. It was supposed to be a business deal, but 30 years later, here they still are. And I don't think Mommy's ever forgiven Papi for making her cheat on Jesus, or all the other things he did. Tuesday, September 4th, first confirmation class. And I already want to pop the other kids right in the face. They stare at me like they don't got the good sense or manners I'm sure their moms gave them. I clip my tongue between my teeth and don't say nothing. Don't curse them out. But my back is stiff and I'm unable to shake them off. And sure, Carrie Dodd and I are older, but we know most of the kids from around the way or from last year's youth Bible study. So I don't know why they seem so surprised to see us here. Maybe they thought we'd already been confirmed with the way our mothers are always up in the church. Maybe because I can't keep the billboard frown off my face, the one that announces I'd rather be anywhere but here. Father Sean leads the confirmation class. He's been the head priest at La Consagrada Iglesia as long as I've been alive, which means he's been around forever. Last year during youth Bible study, he wasn't so strict. He talked to us in his soft West Indian accent, coaxing us out towards the light. Or maybe I just didn't notice his strictness because the older kids were always telling jokes, or asking the important questions we really wanted to know the answers to. Why should we wait for marriage? What if we want to smoke weed? Is masturbation a sin? But confirmation class is different. Father Sean tells us we're going to deepen our relationship with God. Of your own volition, you will accept him into your lives. You will be sealed with the gift of the Holy Spirit. And this is a serious matter. That whole first class, I touched my tongue to the word volition, like it's a fruit I've never tasted, that's already gone sour in my mouth. Haiku. Father Sean lectures. I wait for a good moment, whispering to C. Boys. X. You make out with any boys while you were in the DR? C. Girl, stop. Always talking about some boys. X. Well, if you didn't kiss nobody, why are you all red in the face? C. Xiomara, you know I didn't kiss no boy, just like I know you didn't. X. Don't look at me like that. I'm not proud of the fact that I still ain't kissed nobody. It's a damn shame. We're almost 16. C. Don't say damn, Xiomara. And don't roll your eyes at me either. You won't even be 16 till January. X. I'm just saying. I'm ready to stop being a nun. Kiss a boy. Shoot, I'm ready to creep up with him behind a stairwell and let him feel me up. C. Oh God, girl, I really just can't with you. Here's the book of Ruth. Learn yourself some virtue. You gonna talk about this in a church, then take his name in vain? Ouch. C. Keep talking mess. I'm going to do more than pinch you. I don't know why I missed you. X. Maybe because I make you laugh more than your stuffy-ass church mission friends? C. I can't with you. Now stop worrying about kissing and boys. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Caridad and I shouldn't be friends. We are not two sides of the same coin. We are not even mistaken for sisters. We don't look alike, don't sound alike. We don't make no damn sense as friends. I curse up a storm and I'm always ready to knuckle up. Caridad recites Bible verses and promotes peace. I'm ready to finally feel what it's like to like a boy. Caridad wants to wait for marriage. I'm afraid of my mother, so I listen to what she says. Caridad genuinely respects her parents. I should hate Caridad. She's all my parents want in a daughter. She's everything I could never be. But Caridad, twin, and I have known each other since diapers. We celebrate birthdays together, attended Bible camp sleepovers with each other, spend Christmas Eve in each other's houses. She knows me in ways I don't have to explain, can see one of my tantrums coming a mile off, knows when I need her to joke or when I need to fume, or when I need to be told about myself. Mostly, Caridad isn't all extra goody-goody in her judgment. She knows all the questions I have, about church, boys, and mommy, but she don't ever tell me I'm wrong. She just gives me one of her looks, full of so much charity, and tells me that she knows I'll figure it all out. Questions I have, without mommy's Rikers Island prison-like rules. I don't know who I would be when it comes to boys. It's so complicated. For a while now, I've been used to having all these feelings, noticing boys more than I used to. And I get all this attention from guys, but it's like a sancocho of emotions. This stew up of mixed up ingredients. Partly flattered they think I'm attractive, partly scared they're only interested in my ass and boobs. And a good measure of mommy will kill me fear sprinkled on top. What if I like a boy too much and become addicted to sex, like Ileana from Amsterdam Ave? 3 kids, no baby daddy, and baby bibs instead of a diploma hanging on her wall. What if I like a boy too much and he breaks my heart, and I wind up angry and bitter like mommy, walking around always exclaiming how men ain't shit, even when my father and brother are in the same room? What if I like a boy too much, and none of those things happen? They're the only scales I have. How does a girl like me figure out the weight of what it means to love a boy? Wednesday, September 5th, night before first day of school. As I lie in bed thinking of this new school year, I feel myself stretching my skin apart. Even with my Amazon frame, I feel too small for all that's inside me. I want to break myself open like an egg smacked hard against an edge. Teachers always say that each school year is a new start, but even before this day, I think I've been beginning. Thursday, September 6th, high school. My high school is one of those old school structures from the Great Depression days or something. Kids come from all 5 boroughs and most of us bus or train, although since it's my zone school, I can walk to it on a nice day. Chisholm High School sits wide and squat, taking up half a block, red brick and fenced-in courtyard with ball hoops and benches. It's not like Twin's fancy genius school, glass and futuristic. This is the typical hood school, and not too long ago it was considered one of the worst in the city. Gang fights in the morning and drug deals in the classroom. It's not like that anymore, but one thing I know for sure is that reputations last longer than the time it takes to make them. So I walk through metal detectors and turn my pockets out, and greet security guards by name, and of one of hundreds who every day are sifted like flour through the doors. And I keep my head down, and I cause no waves. I guess what I'm trying to say is this place is a place, neither safe nor unsafe, just a means, just a way to get closer to escape. Ms. Galliano is not what I expected. Everyone talks about her like she's super strict and always assigning the toughest homework. So I expected someone older, a buttoned-up, floppy-haired, suit-wearing teacher with glasses sliding down her nose. Ms. Galliano is young, has on bright colors, and wears her hair naturally curly. She's also little, like for real petite, but carries herself big, know what I mean? Like she's used to shouldering her way through any assumptions made about her. Today I have her first period English, and after an hour and 15 minutes of icebreakers where we learn one another's names, Ms. Galliano pronounces mine right on the first try. She gives us our first assignment. Write about the most impactful day of your life. And although it's the first week of school and teachers always fake the funk the first week, I have a feeling Ms. Galliano actually wants to know my answer. Rough draft of assignment number 1. Write about the most impactful day of your life. The day my period came in 5th grade was just that. The ending of a childhood sentence. The next phrase started in all caps. No one had explained what to do. I'd heard older girls talk about that time of the month, but never what someone was supposed to use. Mommy was at work when I got home from school and went to pee, only to see my panties smudged in blood. I pushed to Twin off the computer and Googled blood down there. Then I snuck money from where Mommy hides it beneath the pants, bought tampons that I shoved into my body the way I'd seen Father Sean cork the sacramental wine. It was almost summer. I was wearing shorts. I put the tampon in wrong. It only stuck up halfway and the blood smeared between my thighs. When Mommy came home, I was crying. I pointed at the instructions. Mommy put her hand out but didn't take them. Instead, she backhanded me so quick she cut open my lip. Good girls don't wear tampons. Are you still a virgin? Are you having relations? I don't know how to answer her. I could only cry. She shook her head and told me to skip church that day. Threw away the box of tampons, saying they were for cueros, that she would buy me pads. Said 11 was too young, that she would pray on my behalf. I didn't understand what she was saying, but I stopped crying. I licked at my split lip. I prayed for the bleeding to stop. Final draft of assignment number 1, what I actually turn in. Ziamara Batista, Friday, September 7th, Mrs. Galliano, the most impactful day of my life, final draft. When I turned 12, my twin brother saved enough lunch money to get me something fancy, a notebook for our birthday. I got him some steel knuckles so he could defend himself, but he used them to conduct electricity for a science project instead. My brother's a genius. The notebook wasn't a regular marble kind most kids use. He bought it from the bookstore. The cover is made of leather, with a woman reaching to the sky etched on the outside, and a bunch of motivational quotes scattered like flower petals throughout the pages. My brother says I don't talk enough, so he hoped this notebook would give me a place to put my thoughts. Every now and then I dress my thoughts in the clothing of a poem, try to figure out if my world changes once I set down these words. This was the first time someone gave me a place to collect my thoughts. In some ways, it seemed like he was saying that my thoughts were important. From that day forward, I've written every single day. Sometimes it seems like writing is the only way I keep from hurting. The routine is the same every school year. I go straight home after school, and since Mommy says that I'm la niña de la casa, it's my job to help her around the house. So after school, I eat an apple, my favorite snack. Wash dishes and sweep. Dust around Mommy's altar to La Virgin Maria, and avoid Papi's TV if he's home because he hates when I clean in front of him, while he's trying to watch Las Noticias or a Red Sox game. It's one of the few things Twin and I argue about, how he never has to do half the cleaning shit I do, but is still liked better by Mommy. He helps me when he's home, folds the laundry or scrubs the tub, but he won't get in trouble if he doesn't. I hear one of Mommy's famous sayings in my ear. Mira, muchacha, life ain't fair. That's why we have to earn our entrance into heaven. Altar boy. Twin is easier for Mommy to understand. He likes church. As much as a science geek as he is, he doesn't question the Bible the way that I do. He's been an altar boy since he was 8, could quote the New Testament in Spanish and English since he was 10, leads discussions at Bible study even better than the priest, no disrespect to Father Sean. He even volunteered at the Bible camp this summer, and now that school started, he'll miss me. He'll miss the Stations of the Cross dioramas his campers made from popsicle sticks, the stick figure drawings of Mary in the manger, the mosaic made of marbles that he hung in the window of our room, the one that I threw out this afternoon while I was cleaning, watched it fall between the fire escape grates. For a second it caught the sun in 100 colors until it smashed against the street. I'll apologize to Twin later. Say it was an accident. He'll forgive me. He'll pretend to believe me. Twin's name. For as long as I can remember, I've only ever called my brother Twin. He actually is named after a saint, but I've never liked to say his name. It's a nice name or whatever, even starts with an X like mine, but it just doesn't feel like the brother I know. His real name is Fermami, teachers, Father Sean, but twin, only I can call him that. A reminder of the pair we'll always be. More about twin. Although twin is older by almost an hour, of course the birth got complicated when it was my turn. He doesn't act older. He is years softer than I will ever be. When we were little, I would come home with bleeding knuckles and Mommy would gasp and shake me. Muchacha, siempre peleando. Why can't you be a lady, or like your brother? He never fights. This is not God's way. And Twin's eyes would meet mine across the room. I never told her he didn't fight because his hands became fists for him. Because my hands became fists for him. My hands learned how to bleed when other kids tried to make him into a wound. My brother was birthed a soft whistle, quiet, barely stirring the air, a gentle sound. But I was born all the hurricane he needed to lift and drop those that hurt him to the ground. Tuesday, September 11th. It's only the first week of 10th grade and high school is already a damn mess. In 9th grade, you are in between, no longer in junior high but still treated like a kid. In 9th grade, you were always frozen between trying not to smile or cry until you learn that no one cares about what your face does, only what your hands will do. I thought 10th grade would be different, but I still feel like a lone shrimp in a stream where too many are searching for someone with a soft shell to peel apart and crush. Today, I already had to curse a guy out for pulling on my bra strap, then shoved a senior into a locker for trying to whisper into my ear. Big body joint, they say. We know what girls like you want. And I'm disgusted at myself for the slight excitement that shivers up my back, at the same time that I wish my body could fold into the tiniest corner for me to hide it. How I feel about attention. If Medusa was Dominican and had a daughter, I think I'd be her. I look and feel like a myth, a story distorted, waiting for others to stop and stare. Tight curls that spring like fireworks out of my scalp, a full mouth pressed hard like a razor's edge, lashes that are too long so they make me almost pretty. If Medusa was Dominican and had a daughter, she might wonder at this curse, and how her blood is always becoming some fake hero's mission, something to be slayed, conquered. If I was her kid, Medusa would tell me her secrets, how it is that her looks stop men in their tracks while they keep on coming, how she outmaneuvers them when they do. Saturday, September 15th. Games. With one of our last warm weather Saturdays, twin, Caridad, and I go to the goat park on the Upper West Side. Outside of ice skating when we were little, neither twin nor I are particularly athletic, but Caridad loves trying new social activities, and this week it's a basketball tournament. The three of us has always been tight like this, and although we're different since we were little, we just clicked. Sometimes Quinn and Caridad are the ones who act more like friends, but our whole lives we've been friends, we've been family. Already we feel the chill that's biting at the edge of the air. It'll be hoodie weather soon, and then the North Face weather after that. But today it's still warm enough for only t-shirts. And I'm kind of glad for it because the half-naked ball players, they're fine. Running around in ball shorts and no tees, their muscles sweaty, their skin flushed. I lean against the fence and watch them race up and down the court. Caridad is paying attention to the ball movement, but twin's staring as hard as I am at one of the ballers. When he catches me looking, twin pretends to clean his glasses on his shirt. When the game is over, the Dickman team won. We shuffle away with the crowd. But just as we get to the gate, one of the ball players, a young dude about our age, stops in front of me. Saw you looking at me kind of hard, Mommy. Damn it. Recently, I haven't been able to stop looking. As the drug dealers, the ball players, random guys on the street, but although I like to look, I hate to be seen. All of a sudden, I'm aware of how many boys on the ball court have stopped to stare at me. I shake my head at the baller and shrug. Twin grabs my arms and begins pulling me away. The baller steps to Twin. Oh, this your girl? That's a lot of body for someone as small as you to handle. I think she needs a man a little bigger. When I see his smirk and his hand cupping his crotch, I break from Twin's grip, ignore Caridad's intake of breath, and take a step until I'm right in Homeboy's face. Homie, what makes you think you can handle me when you couldn't even handle the ball? I suck my teeth as the smile drops off his face. The dudes around us start hooting and hollering in laughter. I keep up my chin high and shoulder my way through the crowd. After. It happens when I'm at bodegas. It happens when I'm at school. It happens when I'm on the train. It happens when I'm standing on the platform. It happens when I'm standing on the stoop. It happens when I'm turning the corner. It happens when I forget to be on guard. It happens all the time. I should be used to it. I shouldn't get so angry when boys, and sometimes grown-ass men, talk to me however they want, think they can grab themselves or rub up against me or make all kinds of offers. But I'm never used to it, and it always makes my hands shake, always makes my throat tight. The only thing that calms me down after Twin and I get home is to put on my headphones and listen to Drake. to grab my notebook and write and write and write all the things I wish I could have said, make poems from the sharp feelings inside that feel like they could carve me wide open. It happens when I wear shorts. It happens when I wear jeans. It happens when I stare at the ground. It happens when I stare ahead. It happens when I'm walking. It happens when I'm sitting. It happens when I'm on my phone. It simply never stops. Okay? Twin asks me if I'm okay, and my arms don't know which one they want to become, a beckoning hug or falling anvils. And Twin must see it on my face, this love and distaste I feel for him. He's older by a whole 50 minutes, and a guy, but never defends me. Doesn't he know how tired I am? How much I hate to have to be so sharp-tongued and heavy-handed? He turns back to his computer and quietly clicks away, and neither of us has to say we are disappointed in the other. Sunday, September 16th. On Sunday, I stare at the pillar in front of my pew so I don't have to look at the mosaic of saints, or at the 6-foot sculpture of Jesus rising up from behind the priest's altar. Even with a tambourine and festive singing, these days, church seems less party and more prison. During communion, ever since I was 10, I've always stood with the other parishioners at the end of the Mass to receive the bread and wine. But today, when everybody thrusts up from their seats and faces Father Sean, my ass feels bolted to the pew. Caridad slides past, her right brow raised in question, and walks to the front of the line. Mommy elbows me sharply, and I can feel her eyes like bright lampposts shining on my face. But I stare straight ahead, letting the stained glass of La Madre Maria blur into a rainbow of colors. Mommy leans down. Mira, muchacha, go take God. Thank him for the fact that you're breathing. She has a way of guilting me compliant. Usually it works, but today I feel the question sticking to the roof of my mouth like a wafer. What's the point of God giving me life if I can't live it as my own? Why does listening to his commandments mean I need to shut down my own voice? Church Mass. When I was little, I loved Mass. The clanging tambourines and guitar, the church ladies singing hymns to Moraine rhythms, everyone in the pews holding hands and clapping. My mother, tough at home, would cry and smile during Father Sean's mangled Spanish sermons. It's just when Father Sean starts talking about the scriptures that everything inside me feels like a too full, too dirty kitchen sink. When I'm told girls shouldn't, when I'm told to wait, to stop, to obey, when I'm told not to be like Delilah, Lot's wife, Eve, when the only girl I'm supposed to be was an impregnated virgin who was probably scared shitless, when I'm told fear and fire are all this life will hold for me, when I look around the church and none of the depictions of angels or Jesus or Mary, not one of the disciples look like me, Morenita and big and angry. When I'm told to have faith in the Father, the Son, in men, and men are the first ones to make me feel so small. That's when I feel like a fake, because I nod and clap and amen and alleluia, all the while feelings like this house, his house, is no longer the one I want to rent. Not even close to haikus. Mommy's back is a coat hanger, her anger made of the heaviest wood. It must keep her so hot. Mira, muchacha, when it's time to take the body of Christ, don't you ever opt out again. But I can hold my back like a coat hanger too, straight and stiff and unbending beneath the weight of her hard glare. I don't want to take the bread and wine, and Father Sean says it should always and only be done with joy. Mommy gives me a hard look. I stare straight ahead. It's difficult to say who's won this round. Holy water. I just don't know about that girl, Mommy loud whispers to Poppy. They never think that Twin and I can hear. But since they barely say 2 words to each other unless it's about us or dinner, we're always listening when they speak, and these flimsy Harlem walls barely muffle any sound. Recently, she's got all kinds of devils inside of her. They probably come from you. I've talked to Padre Sean, and he said he'll talk to her at confirmation class. And I want to tell Mommy, Father Sean talking to me won't help. That incense makes bow tie pasta of my belly. That all the lit candles beckon like fingers that want to clutch around my throat. That I don't understand her God anymore. I hear Poppy shushing her quiet. It's that age. Teenage girls are overexcited. Puberty changes their mind. Son locas. And since Poppy knows more about girls than she does, she stays silent at his reply. I don't know if it's prayer to hope that soon my feelings will drown me faster than the church's baptismal water. People say Poppy was a mujeriego, that he would get drunk at the barbershop and touch the thigh of any woman who walked too close. They say his tongue was slick with compliments and his body was like a timber with the skin stretched too tight. They say Poppy was broken, that he couldn't get women pregnant, so he tossed his seeds to the wind, not caring where they landed. They say Twin and I saved him, that if it wasn't for us, Mommy would have kicked him to tomorrow, or a jealous husband would have shanked him dead. They say Poppy used to love to dance, but now he finally has a spine that allows him to stand straight. They say we made it so. On Poppy, you can have a father who lives with you, who eats every day at the table, and watches TV in the living room, and snores through the whole night and grunts about the bills or the weather or your brother's straight A's. You can have a father who works for transit authority, and reads El Listin Diario and calls back to the island every couple months to speak to Primo so-and-so. You can have a father who, if people asked, you had to say lived with you. You have to say is around. But even if as he brushes by you on the way to the bathroom, he could be gone as anybody. Just because your father's present doesn't mean he isn't absent. All over a damn wafer. As repentance for not participating in communion last time, Mommy makes me go to evening mass with her every evening this week, and even the days that aren't confirmation class. When communion time comes, I stand in line with everyone else. And when Father Sean places the Eucharist onto my tongue, I walk away, kneel in my pew, and spit the wafer into my palm when I'm pretending to pray. I can feel the hot eyes of the Jesus statue, watching me hide the wafer behind the bench, where his holy body will now feed the mice. Monday, September 17th. The flyer, calling all poets. The poster is printed on regular white computer paper, the bare basics. Spoken word poetry club, calling all poets, rappers, and writers. Tuesdays after school. See Ms. Galano in room 302 for details. It's layered behind other more colorful and bigger lettered announcements, but it still makes me stop halfway down the staircase, as kids late to class try their best to accidentally make me topple down the stairs. But I'm rooted to the spot, a new awareness buzzing over the noise. This poster feels personal, like an engraved invitation mailed directly to me. After the buzz dies down, I crumple the flyer in my backpack, balled and zipped up tight. Tuesdays I have confirmation class. Not a chance Mommy's going to let me out of that. Not a chance I want anyone hearing my work. Something in my chest flutters like a bird whose wings are still being gripped by the firmest fingers. Tuesday, September 18th. Aman. After 2 weeks of bio review, safety lessons, and blah, 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 we're finally starting real work. A boy, Aman, is assigned as my lab partner. I saw him around last year, but this is our first class together. He shifts as the two-person desk we share, and his forearm touches mine. After a moment, I shift on purpose, liking how my arm brushes against his. I pull away quickly. The last thing I need is for someone to see me trying to holla at a dude in the middle of class. Then I'll really be known as fast. But it's like his forearm brush changed everything. Now I notice how I'm taller than him by a couple inches, how full his mouth is, how he has a couple of chin hairs, how quiet he is, how he peeks at me from under his lashes. Near the end of class, as we both stare on the board, I let my arm rest against his. It feels safe, our silence. Whispering with Caridad later that day. There's this boy at school. This is why your mom should have sent you with me to St. John's. X. Are you kidding? Half those girls end up pregnant before graduating. C. No exaggerate, Zio. Cio. And we are going to get in trouble. We're supposed to be annotating this verse. X. You and I could break this verse down in our sleep. It's not wrong to think a boy is fine, you know. It's wrong to lust, Cio. You know it's a sin. We're humans, not robots. Even our parents lusted once. That's different. They were married. You don't think they lusted before the aisle? Girl, bye. Anyways, there's a boy at school. He's cute. His arm is warm. I don't even want to know what you mean by that. Is that code for something? Stop being fresh. X. Caridad, you always try to protect me from my dirty mind, of warm arms. Sometimes I think I'm the only one trying to protect you from yourself. Would twin be knowing? As I'm getting ready for sleep, I'm surprised to see the crumpled poetry club flyer neatly unfolded and on my bed. It must have fallen out of my bag. Without looking up from the computer screen, Twin says in barely a whisper, the world's been waiting for your genius for a long time. My brother is no psychic, no prophet, but it makes me smile. This secret hope that we share that we are both good enough for each other and maybe the world too. But when he goes to brush his teeth, I tear the flyer into pieces before Mommy can find it. Tuesdays for the foreseeable future belong to church, and any genius I might have belongs only to me. Sharing. Although Twin and I are super different, people find it strange how much we share. We shared the same womb, the same cradle, and our whole lives the same room. Mommy wanted to find a bigger apartment, told Poppy we should move to Queens or somewhere far from Harlem where we could have each our own room. But apparently, although Poppy had changed, he still stood unmoved, said everything we could want was here, and sharing a room wouldn't kill us. And it hasn't. Except, I once heard a rumor that goldfish have an evolutionary gene where they'll only develop as big as the tank they're put into. They need space to stretch, and I wonder if Twin and I are keeping each other small, taking up the space that would have let the other grow. Questions for Ms. Galeano. I'm one of the first students in English class the next day, and although I promised myself I would keep my lips stapled together when Ms. Galeano asked me how I'm doing, the words trip and twist their ankles trying to rush out of my mouth. So you run the poetry club, right? She doesn't laugh, cocks her head, and nods. Yeah, we just started it this year, spoken word poetry club. And my face must have been all kinds of screwed up confused because she tries to explain how spoken word is performed poetry, but it all sounds the same to me, except one is memorized. It might be easier if I showed you. I'll pull a clip up as today's intro to class. Are you thinking of joining the club? I shake my head no. She gives me that look again when someone who doesn't know you is sizing you up, like you're a broken clock and they're trying to translate the ticks. Spoken word. When class starts, Ms. Galliano projects a video. A woman on stage, her voice quiet, then louder and faster like an express train picking up speed. The poet talks about being black, about being a woman, about how beauty standards make it seem she isn't pretty. I don't breathe for the entire 3 minutes while I watch her face, her hands and face, feeling like she's talking directly to me. She's saying the thoughts I didn't know anyone else had. We're different, this poet and I, in looks, in body, and background, but I don't feel so different when I listen to her. I feel heard. When the video finishes, my classmates, who are rarely excited by anything, clap softly. And although the poet isn't in the room, it feels right to acknowledge her this way, even if it's only polite applause. My own hands move against each other. Ms. Galliano asks about the themes and presentation style, but instead of raising hands, I press it against my heart and will the chills on my arms to smooth out. It was just a poem, Xiomara, I think, but it felt more like a gift. Wait, is this what Miss Galliano thinks I'm going to do in her poetry club? She mentioned competition, and I know slam is just that, but she can't think that I, who sits silently in her classroom, who only speaks to get someone off my back, will ever get on stage and say any of the things I've written out loud to anybody else. She must be out of her damn mind. Holding a poem in the body. Tonight, after my shower, instead of staring at the parts of myself I want to puzzle piece into someone else, I watch my mouth memorize one of my poems. Even though I don't ever plan on letting anyone hear it, I think about that poetry video from class. I let the words shape themselves hard on my tongue. I let my hands pretend to be punctuation marks that slash and point and press in on each other. I let my body finally take up all the space it wants. I toss my head and screw up my face and grit my teeth and smile and make a fist. And every one of my limbs is an actor trying to take center stage. And then Mommy knocks on the door and asks me when I'm in here reciting, that it better not be more rap lyrics. And I respond, verses. I'm memorizing verses. I know she thinks I mean Bible ones. I hide my notebook in my towel before heading to my room and comfort myself with the fact that I didn't actually lie. J. Cole versus Kendrick Lamar. Now that we're doing real labs, Aman and I are forced to speak. Mostly we mumble under our breath about measurements and beakers, but I can't forget what I told Carrie Dodd. I want to get to know him. I ask him if he has the new J. Cole album. Shuffle papers as I wait for him to answer. Aman signs his name beneath mine on the lab report. The bell rings, but neither of us moves. Aman straightens, and for the first time his eyes lock onto mine. Yeah, I got Cole, but I rather the Kendrick Lamar. We should listen to his new album together sometime. Asylum. When my family first got a computer, Twin and I were about 9. And while Twin used it to look up astronomy discoveries or the latest anime movies, I used it to stream music, flipping the screen from music videos to Khan Academy tutorials whenever Mommy walked into the room. I fell in love with Nicki Minaj, with J. Cole, with Drake and Kanye, with old school rappers like Jay-Z and Nas and Eve. Every day I searched for new songs and it was like applying for asylum. I just needed someone to help me escape from all the silence. I just needed people saying words about all the things that hurt them. And maybe this is why Poppy stopped listening to music, because it can make your body want to rebel, to speak up. And even that young, I learned music can become a bridge between you and a total stranger. Would I tell Aman? Maybe. I'll let you know. Dreaming of him tonight. A boy's face in my hands, but he's nearly a man. Memories of Mommy's words almost lash my fingers away, but I brush upward, against the grain and prickle and bristle of a light beard at his jaw. His cheekbones rise like a sun. The large canvas of a forehead, a nose that takes space. This is a face that doesn't apologize for itself. The boy moves his body closer to mine, and I can feel his hips drop down from my waist to my hips. His hands drop down from my waist to my hips, then rushing towards these boobs that I hate, that I now push at him like an offering. His hands move so close, our faces move closer, and then my phone alarm rings, waking me up for school. In my dreams, he is a mouth that knows more than curses and a prayer. More than bread and wine, more than water, more than blood, more. Thursday, September 20th. The thing about dreams, when I get to school, I know I won't be able to look Aman in the face. You can't dream about touching a boy and then look at him in real life and not think he's going to see that dream like a face full of makeup blushing up your cheeks. But even though I'm nervous when I get to bio, the moment I sit next to him, I calm down, like my dream is giving me an inside knowledge that takes away my nerves. I'd love to listen to Kendrick. Maybe we could do it tomorrow? Date. This doesn't count as a date, or even anything sinful. Just two classmates meeting up after school to listen to music. so I try not to freak out when Aman agrees to our non-date. Mommy's dating rules. Rule 1, I can't date. Rule 2, at least until I'm married. Rule 3, see rules 1 and 2. Clarification on dating rules. The thing is, my old school Dominican parents do not play. Well, mostly Mommy. I'm not sure Papi has any strong opinions, or at least none he's ever said. But Mommy's been telling me early as I can remember I can't have a boyfriend until I'm done with college. And even then, she's got strict rules on what kind of boy he better be. And Mommy's words have always been scripture set in stone, so I already know going to a park alone with Aman might as well be the 8th deadly sin. But I can't wait to do it anyway. Friday, September 1st. Feeling myself. All last night I held the secret of meeting Aman like a candle that could be too easily blown out. Anytime Mommy said my name or Twin looked in my direction, I waited for them to ask what I was hiding. This morning I ironed my shirt, a for sure sign I'm scheming since I hate to iron. But no one says anything about the shirt or my new shea butter scented lip balm. And when I slide up my jeans up my hips and shimmy into them, my legs feel powerful beneath my hands, and I smile over my shoulder at my bubble butt in the mirror. That was part 1 of this fantastic book, Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. See you later.